You pick the first ripe tomato of summer and feel the soft, dark patch at the bottom. The blossom end has sunk inward. The skin may look brown, black, or leathery, while the rest of the fruit still seems healthy. This is blossom end rot, a common gardening malady. The fastest way to stop it is steady soil moisture, healthy roots, and calm feeding. It is not a curse, and it is not usually a contagious disease. The damaged spot starts where the flower once grew, opposite the stem. It may be small at first, then spread across the bottom as the tomato fills with water and sugar. Peppers can show the same mark. The tissue dies because calcium did not reach that fast-growing fruit tissue in time. Calcium may be present in the soil, but the plant must move it through water from the roots to the fruit. That detail changes the whole investigation. Many gardeners see rot and add lime, gypsum, or crushed eggshells at once. Sometimes soil calcium is low, but often it is not. The root cause is uneven water flow. A dry spell followed by heavy watering can break the steady supply. Root damage, cold soil, crowded plants, or too much fertilizer can also slow calcium transport when the fruit needs it most. To diagnose the problem, inspect the pattern before treating it. Blossom end rot begins on the bottom of the fruit, not as a fuzzy mold spreading from a leaf or stem. The spot feels firm, dry, or sunken. If the tissue is wet, covered with mold, or spreading from a wound, another problem may be present. Remove the damaged fruit, then check the plant, the soil, and the recent weather. The roots hold the first clue. Push a finger into the soil near the plant, several inches down, without tearing the roots. If the soil is dusty and dry, the plant has faced stress. If it is soaked and airless, roots may struggle to work. In a container, water may run down the sides while the center stays dry. In a bed, a hard crust can block water from reaching the root zone. A tomato plant can look strong and still be under strain. Its leaves may stay green while young fruit suffers. That is because the plant sends water and calcium to growing points in a shifting order. New shoots and fruit compete for the same supply. A burst of fast growth, especially after heavy nitrogen feeding, can make the problem worse by creating more demand than the roots can meet. The soil is not just dirt beneath the plant. It is a living space filled with air, water, roots, and tiny organisms. Good structure lets water move slowly, then lets extra water drain away. Compost can help improve that structure when used in a modest amount. A soil test can show whether calcium or other nutrients are truly low. Testing is better than guessing because extra amendments can upset the balance. Mulch is one of the simplest tools for prevention. Place a layer of straw, shredded leaves, or untreated grass clippings around the plant, leaving a little space around the stem. Mulch shields the soil from hard sun and slows evaporation. It also softens the shock of heavy rain. As the layer settles, it helps the root zone stay more even, like a blanket that keeps sudden changes from reaching the roots. Water deeply and on a steady schedule. The goal is not a fixed number of minutes because soil, weather, and plant size all differ. The goal is moisture that reaches the main root zone without leaving the bed soaked. Check the soil before watering. During hot weather, a plant in a small container may need attention more often than one planted in the ground. Consistency matters more than one perfect watering. A common mistake is waiting until leaves wilt before taking action. By then, the plant has already lost steady water flow. Another mistake is giving a little splash every day that wets only the surface. That can train roots to stay shallow. Slow watering, followed by a check below the surface, gives a clearer answer. If water pools for hours, improve drainage rather than watering more often. Young plants deserve care before the first fruit appears. Harden transplants slowly before placing them in strong outdoor conditions. Set them into warm soil and avoid damaging the root ball. Give each plant enough room for air, roots, and steady growth. Crowding increases competition and makes watering uneven. A calm start can prevent the hidden stress that later shows up as a dark mark on the fruit. Fertilizer deserves the same careful eye. Too much nitrogen can push a tomato into a rush of leaves and stems. That lush growth may look like success, but it can raise the plant's water demand and delay a balanced fruit set. Follow the product directions and avoid repeated heavy feeding without a soil test. Mature compost and a balanced garden plan are safer than chasing every pale leaf with a strong dose. The wider bed tells another part of the story. A raised bed that dries at one end can produce healthy fruit on one plant and blossom end rot on another. A downspout, slope, tree root, or nearby wall may change how water reaches each spot. Walk the whole bed after rain and during a dry spell. Notice where water stands, where the soil cracks, and where plants struggle first. A garden record can turn a mystery into evidence. Write down when you planted, when rain came, when the heat arrived, and when damaged fruit appeared. Note watering, fertilizer, mulch, and container size. You do not need perfect science to learn from your own soil. One season of simple notes can reveal a pattern that memory misses, and that pattern can guide a better plan next season. The first damaged fruit can feel like a harvest lost, but the plant is not always finished. Remove fruit with severe rot so the plant can direct energy toward healthy growth. Correct the moisture swings, protect the roots with mulch, and watch the next flowers and fruit. New fruit may develop normally once water flow becomes steady. Recovery is often quiet, but each sound tomato is proof that the roots are working again. Do not spray a fungicide for blossom end rot, because the main problem is inside the plant's water and calcium pathway. Do not pour a strong calcium mix onto the leaves and expect a quick cure. Foliar sprays rarely solve the root zone problem that caused the injury. The best response is basic but powerful. Steady moisture, good drainage, careful feeding, and roots that remain alive and active. Season planning makes prevention easier. Before planting tomatoes or peppers, learn how quickly your soil dries, where rain collects, and which containers lose water first. Prepare mulch before the hot days arrive. Place a water source close enough to use often. Choose healthy transplants and avoid planting into cold, flooded ground. These small decisions protect the whole harvest cycle before a single blossom opens. Blossom end rot is a warning, not a verdict. The dark bottom of a tomato records a moment when demand outran supply. Read that mark with care. Check the soil, the roots, the weather, and the feeding plan. Then make one steady change instead of 5 hurried ones. When you learn to follow the evidence, gardening becomes less about luck and more about trust between your hands, the soil, and the season. The more you understand your garden, the bigger your harvest can become. Subscribe to the Infinite Harvest and keep growing.